shake it because it was well built. But the one who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like a man who built a house on the ground floor in the wadi, without a foundation. The moment the torrent struck that house, it collapsed, and its destruction was complete. Absolute haymaker from Jesus there, right? In the end, that first question, it all boils down to obedience. Why did you call me Lord? Why'd you go to all those dang church services? Why'd you waste a Tuesday night with Josh and then not do what I said? Why'd you buy that super nice Bible with the goat skin?
Amen.
Right? Some people really like that stuff, right? Right? Why'd you get that tattoo? Why'd you buy that necklace? Why'd you do all that stuff and then you didn't actually just do what I said? Right? We do this to our parents all the time. We do this to our loved ones. We're like, okay, I know you said this, but I think I understand what you really mean. You're just like, no, just do what I said. Like, it's really that simple. He just asks us the same way he calls us to just ask him. Obedience is the metric of a firm foundation. Obedience is the metric of a life well lived. Did you live a good life? Am I a good person? Did you obey? Did you just do what Jesus said? On a deeper level, did you trust Jesus enough to just do what he said? Like, I can't explain to you guys the level, like you're gonna think about this in 10 years. The level to which parenting teaches you this, 10 to 15 years, right? You're like, can you just do what I said to do? Trust me, this is good for you. I'm not gonna like hurt you. Like, it's so obvious for us if you just did it, if you just practiced it, everything would go amazing for you. But we don't always trust Jesus enough to do what he said. We tell white lies because they're more convenient than the truth, right? We quit because it's way easier than persevering. We lust because it's way easier than being pure. It's easier to not follow Jesus, guaranteed. In the words of John Mulaney, it is always 100% easier to not do a thing. Given the choice between doing a thing and not doing a thing, it has always been easier to not do the thing. And Jesus understands that. And that's why he calls us over and over and over again to a life of trusting obedience. But here's what you get when you obey. Here's the sneaky little benefit, is that you don't need insurance. You don't need a backup plan. If I actually trust Jesus, I don't need a backup. I need to, no, you don't need escape routes. You don't need any of that stuff. Sometimes it takes real trust and humility to go where Jesus is calling you to go. Sometimes it takes real trust and humility to stay where Jesus is calling you to stay where it's hard, to go where it's scary. Obedience isn't always the most obvious thing in the world, but we know the fruit of it when we see it. Here's the scary implication. Here's the messed up part. You can have a really nice house and a really crappy foundation. I have friends who have bought new houses on poorly poured foundation and starts to crack or it starts to erode, and it's like you don't even have a house anymore. Basically, you're sitting in a time bomb. You're sitting in a insurance scam waiting to happen. So you can live a whole life and have it look good and feel good and have a lot of good things happen in your life, but the foundation was yourself. The foundation was a person. The foundation was an ideal, but it wasn't Jesus. You can have zero consequences until flood's coming, baby. There's no consequences until there's consequences. And there's no warning. There's no on-ramp. There's no 60-second, hey, just so you know, your life's about to get really, really challenging and complicated and bad. Just so you know. So maybe prep for that. Give you 3 months run up. No, you just lose your job. You just lose a loved one. These things happen. What a fun way to end our midweek series, huh? This is the reality of life, though. And Jesus loves us enough, and I love you guys enough, that I'm not just going to like sugarcoat the truth and be like, well, it all works out perfectly in the end. No, things get really, really hard. But with a good foundation, you can endure it. My hunch, based on this teaching, is that Jesus values our endurance way more than he values our, how many scriptures we memorized, or like how many Bible studies we're in, or all that stuff. Stuff's good. It's great. It's awesome. But like, what really matters is did you just keep going? I was talking to Charlie about this a couple minutes ago. Jason Tatum has a tattoo, and that's fine. But the quote is really the point. It's a Nipsey Hussle quote. He talks about like, I wasn't the best rapper, I wasn't the best businessman, I didn't have the best ideas, but I just didn't quit. Probably gonna get that tattoo at some point. Really feeling it today. Today I would really, really like to get that tattoo. Everything else went wrong, and I just didn't quit. Man, is that something to hold your hat on. I just didn't quit. It was really, really hard for me to follow Jesus today. And you know what? I showed up. I had a very real conversation about not being here tonight. Cards on the table. I just didn't quit. That's the only thing I get to hold on to today. I'm here. I showed up. I kept giving. I kept trying. It's hard. But you know what? The storm hasn't swept me away yet. The foundation's pretty good. There's been some shakes, maybe a window broke or two. And I'm going to be here tomorrow. And I'm going to keep showing up on Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. 2 songs welcome, 2 songs communion. No, not like that. The point is, your life usually doesn't get redos. It's pretty rare that you get just to start over from scratch with no consequences. Usually if you get a redo, there's a lot of scratches and bruises that come with it, some real scars. And so what are you going to build on while it's easy? While the sun is shining and there's no rain clouds? What are you going to build your life on? Your own opinions? Your own ideas? Jesus' words. On stuff. So 2 questions that come up, at least for me. How do you build a life in the way that Jesus lays out? How do I do that? Okay, great. I trust Jesus' words. I want to do it his way. Where's my blueprint? Yeah, B-I-B-L-E, baby. That's the book for me. He just laid out the blueprint for 3 chapters. What do I do when I want to be dishonest? What do I do when I'm trying to control somebody? How do I handle my money? What do I do about marriage? What do I do with kids? Like, he literally just lays it out for 3 chapters. It's all you need. And then he keeps going across several other books of the Bible. And then other people interpret his words. We have plenty of instruction. We have a blueprint. I'm not worried about the building process. If I keep showing up here, and I keep surrounding myself with people who are trying to build good houses as well, I'm going to know what to do when things get serious. Here's the key one. How do you know if your foundation is secure without waiting for the flood? Without waiting for the flood, I need to know that I'm living in a firm house. Because if you think your house is going to collapse at all times, you're not actually going to live in that house. You're going to spend every second outside of it. Like, I'm a Christian, but I go and find other things to do constantly. I'm constantly filling up my life with other preoccupations and commitments and responsibilities because I don't think life with Jesus is really going to make me happy. I've lived that way. I think all of us have had seasons where we lived that way. So how do you know if your foundation is secure without waiting for the flood? It's a bad question. It's a bad question because it puts the onus on us instead of Jesus. Here's what I think we're really asking when we ask that. What we're asking is, am I doing enough? Am I a good person? Am I really a Christian? When I got baptized, was that legit? Was that real? Or was it, did I even know what I was supposed to be? Those are the questions we start to ask. We ask, what if my sacrifices and commitments and my choices aren't enough? If I'm really good, why don't I always feel good? Right? I should feel way better. Shouldn't my life be infused with supernatural energy and the Spirit moving constantly? But I don't feel good all the time. Sometimes I doubt my choices. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Shouldn't something supernatural have happened to me by now? Right? Shouldn't I be able to speak in tongues or prophesy or whatever? Where's the results? Where's the fruit? Why isn't my life freaking amazing all the time? Why do I sometimes do the right thing and then I get the wrong outcome? That's messed up. Why does it seem like the God thing is working out awesome for everybody else and everybody else has an awesome life and then I got to slum it here? Like, what's going on? Is there something I can do to just be 100% sure so I never have to think about this again? Because sometimes I can't sleep and I have this existential. You guys get the point, right? We ask all these questions about how we feel and about what we're doing. And those are sandy foundational questions. Those are questions about me and the life I'm building on my own attitude and ego and practices. That's not what we're called to do. We're called to live a life of radical trust because we've built our foundation on the rock, on Jesus. This is what I'm talking about. Hebrews 7, verse 15. I'm going to read it in the Message version because whoever wrote Hebrews
was the worst.
She was a lot smarter than I am. So,
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Prove me wrong.
I heard you.
Prove me wrong.
I heard you.
She's way smarter than I am, and I need to have it kind of simplified language for me. In this long thing, Jesus is, the writer is trying to describe why Jesus is trustworthy. Yep. 7, please. 7 verse 15. Trying to explain, hey, here's why you can trust Jesus. And she's picking and grabbing from all these stories in the Old Testament. Here's a story about this priest named Melchizedek, which is a super random underground Abraham story. It's not that important that you know what's up. Just listen to what they say about who Jesus is and why we can trust him. But Melchizedek's story about this priest provides a perfect analogy. Jesus, a priest like Melchizedek, not by genealogical descent, but by the sheer force of a resurrection life. He lives, priest forever in the royal order of Melchizedek. The old way of doing things, a system of commandments that never worked out the way that it was supposed to. Maybe you've tried doing the religion thing without Jesus. The law brought nothing to maturity. Another way, Jesus, a way that does work. It brings us right into the presence of God, is put in its place. The old priesthood of Aaron perpetuated itself automatically, father to son. This is true. Like, you would just inherit the priesthood without explicit confirmation from God. But then God intervened, and he called this new permanent priesthood into being with an added promise. God gave his word. He won't take it back. You're the permanent priest. This makes Jesus the guarantee of a far better way between us and God, one that really works, a new covenant. Earlier, there were a lot of priests, for they died and they had to be replaced, right? Because no one lives forever. But Jesus' priesthood is permanent. He's there from now to eternity to save everyone who comes to God through him, always on the job to speak up for them. So now we have a high priest who perfectly fits our needs, completely holy, uncompromised by sin, with authority extending as high as God's presence in heaven itself. Unlike the other high priests, he doesn't have to offer sacrifices for his own sins every day before he can get around to us and our sins. He's done it once and for all. He offered up himself as the sacrifice. The law appoints as high priests men who are never able to get the job done right. The same way that there is no man or woman in your life who's going to get the job done right as your foundation. There's no professor, there's no teacher, there's no celebrity, there's no husband, wife, kid. No one can get the job done right. But this intervening command of God, which came later, appoints the Son who is absolutely, eternally perfect. Can you trust a life built on Jesus? Well, he's completely holy, meaning that completely pure without sin. He's uncompromised by sin, and he has authority extending as high as God's presence in heaven itself. That is who we're being called to build our lives on, to spend every single day with. Whenever we have the million different questions that come up in life, we're called to go, okay, well, how would Jesus do it? I know that he's lived a life uncompromised by sin. I sure would like my life to be uncompromised by sin. That would be nice. Let me do it his way. We have a trustworthy foundation, but you have to trust him enough to build on it. To start building your life in such a way that you're willing to say no to other stuff in order to say yes to Jesus. You're willing to be deep and vulnerable and open with people and not just try to control it all and keep everything inside so that no one ever sees the real me. No, that's not the life that we're called to. We're called to do things the way that Jesus did them. We earnestly believe that it's the best way. Jesus is the determining factor, not us. If it came down to your goodness, no, stop. There's no way. We all know that none of us are good enough to survive the storm by yourself. But it comes back to a relationship, right? It's a relationship built on trust. You can't trust someone you don't know. You can't trust someone you don't spend time with. You can't trust someone that you don't talk to. But if you do spend time with him, if you do talk to him, if you do listen to his words, if you do earnestly seek and pursue him, not only are you going to know him well, you're going to fall in love with him. That's the promise. He says, if you just try it my way, you're going to get so much more than a new set of rules. You're going to get so much more than a better after-school activity. You're going to get life to the full. So ask yourself, do I live like I know Jesus? Do I live like I have met the creator of the universe? Or do I live like everybody else? Does my life look like his? Do I make decisions the way that he makes or made decisions? And this is the kicker. Can I rest in his goodness? I think Jesus is so good that I'm done worrying about my own performance. That's a big one. I trust Jesus so much, and I so believe in who he is, that I'm not over-functioning anymore. And I'm not anxious, and I'm not trying to prove myself. I can just be. Sounds pretty nice. I don't know. If that's not your bag, I don't know what bag I can get for you. This is what we're being called into. Do you believe that he says he is who he says he is, right? Do you believe that he is who he says he is? Because you're going to base your entire existence on that question. And at some point, hopefully very, very far in the future, you'll look backwards. And you'll go, okay, that was my life. I only get the one. How'd I do? Did it matter? Did I really help people? Am I going to be remembered anything the way that Jesus is remembered? Can I look back with no regrets, no fears, no doubts about the choices that I made and the people I chose to surround myself with? Am I going to look back and be really, really proud? Not of myself, but of Jesus and the things that he did in my life, the ways that he transformed me. Right now, today, probably not. Maybe you feel really good about the way the day went. Maybe you feel like, man, I killed it today with Jesus. I did it everything the exact way that he called me to do it. I'm a turbo disciple for one day only. I did it. Or maybe you just had a moment today where you felt really, really good about a choice you made, or a choice that you didn't make, right? Something you chose not to do. That comes and goes. But at the end of it, again, hopefully a very long time in the future, what are you going to think? Are you going to be able to rest permanently in his goodness? Fun stuff again. We're having some fun here. I want to end with a Dallas Willard quote. It's the only appropriate way to do this, right? Because he's the one who gave us all of this for the last 12 weeks. He says, Jesus's enduring relevance is based on his historically proven ability to speak to heal, and to empower the individual human condition. His proven ability to make human life better. He matters because what he brought and what he still brings to ordinary human beings living their ordinary lives and coping daily with their surroundings. He promises wholeness for their lives. In sharing our weakness, he gives us strength and imparts to his companionship a life that has the quality of eternity. Lucas asked me today, he said, how do you measure success in your job? How do you measure success after a sermon or whatever? There's a lot of ways to measure it. But what I've told him and what I've told a lot of people is that I don't get to enjoy the fruit of most of what I do. None of you guys are like go plant churches tomorrow, right? Like you have a lot of growing and living and being to do. And I'm not going to be present for most of that. Like you don't want me around for most of it. Trust me. Like when you're like living your actual life, I'm like, hey, I'm still here, guys. You don't want that. Trust me. Like, you want to go off and let me be a faint memory. The way I want to measure success in my life and the people I impact is that did my life and do your lives have the quality of eternity? When people look at your life, do they see something that can't be destroyed? It's going to last forever. That's what Jesus wanted from the jump. It's what he still offers us today. And it's the only good thing I have to give you. So I want you guys to go back, read the Sermon on the Mount again and again and again, and never get bored of it. I want you guys to pray the way he prays and to try to actually do this stuff. And when you get stuck and don't know what to do next, to talk to somebody. Go, hey, I'm trying this and it's messy, it's hard. Can we do it together, right? I think if you just keep showing up, no matter what storms come, if you just don't quit, your life's going to have the quality of eternity. So that's it. No more lessons. You're done with me. I have nothing left to teach you. End of the year banquet is Friday, 7 p.m. Chicopee. You guys can just show up. It's going to be set up. It's going to be good to go. We do ask that you stick around a little bit. I mean, we're not going to be there till midnight, but stick around for a little bit just to help clean up and make sure things are good to go.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Next Tuesday, we don't have Tuesday night teaching because, I don't know, scheduling snafu mostly. But we can still meet up, play volleyball, or do whatever. We'll play volleyball tonight after this. But we can all grab dinner together at 7 and then, I don't know, not talk about spiritual stuff if you want. If you just want to like
Is there any other Dallas Willard quotes?
I have a few.
Oh.
We could do a
Dallas Willard quote.
I'm 32 and make minimum wage. Ask me anything. Like I could do one of those. That's fine. We can talk about what we want to do next Tuesday, and then the following Friday we have something. I think that's all. Do you have an announcement, Chloe? Do you have like an announcement or something?
I think I do.
Yeah.
You got You guys.
Yeah.
Wait, Kylie, you had an announcement?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
Guys,
Oh, wait.
Someone
Wait,
have an announcement. I'm lost.
It's somebody's birthday today.
Oh, snap!
Wait, why are they doing that?
Well, there's only one song to play, guys.
Why you were playing it?
Wait.
Let me put in the actual.
Cheesecake.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Uncle. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. Birthday. Birthday on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Birthday.
Birthday.